This is Liberty Station, a mixed-use community in San Diego, California. In its past life, Liberty Station was known as Naval Training Center San Diego, where, from 1923 to 1997, it housed over 2 million naval trainees, along with dozens of barracks, sports complexes, schools, commissaries, and more. Today, though, Liberty Station has a new life, completely different from its naval past, but you wouldn't immediately notice that from the outside. Since its transition from naval base to third place, Liberty Station has become a model and standard for military base adaptive reuse. You'll also find many things at Liberty Station today that just weren't there in its Navy days, like art studios, diners, coffee shops, breweries, a whole lot of new green spaces and parks, and, of course, the world-famous Liberty Public Market. So just what led to the redevelopment of Naval Training Center San Diego? What all is hiding inside these arcaded Spanish colonial Art Deco barracks that makes this place, secretly, one of San Diego's best hidden gem neighborhoods? Today, we're turning back the clock and exploring the redevelopment of Liberty Station San Diego, from naval base to third place. But first, if you're new to the channel, this is fourth place, your place to learn about US geography, urbanism, transportation, and city planning. After 70 years of being an active naval training center, in 1993, it was decided by the US Department of Defense to decommission the base under the BRAC program, which stands for Base Realignment and Closure. Among other things, the BRAC program allowed the Department of Defense to return government properties to communities for reuse and redevelopment. The BRAC program also provides funding for necessary public infrastructure improvements in order to accommodate the anticipated population growth in these areas. Additionally, BRAC facilitates coordination between the DoD and state-level authorities to provide resources and support for businesses and local governments to transition into the new public areas. After declining use post-World War II and dissipating Cold War tensions, Naval Training Center San Diego was identified as a base that could be closed, and so it was officially decommissioned on April 30th, 1997. That same year, the city of San Diego began formulating plans to redevelop the former base, focusing on creating a mixed-use community that preserved the site's historical character while also giving it a new commercial life. Existing buildings were evaluated for their historical significance and potential for adaptive reuse. The city government then took the lead in overseeing the redevelopment process, developing the master plan and managing the public infrastructure, while private developers, most notably Corky Macmillan companies, were responsible for acquiring land, financing projects, and constructing buildings within the new Liberty Station community. But with plans for expansion from the private into the public sector, developers were not only constrained to the existing buildings. Plenty of new buildings were added to Liberty Station during its redevelopment, including a massive 244 square foot church constructed in 2005, as well as the entire residential community made up of dense, largely attached multifamily urban housing, to go along with dedicated strips of park space running through the center. This section from Farragut Road to Nimitz Road once housed the majority of the base's barracks, as well as a few office buildings and plenty of parking, as you can see here in this early 1970s view of the Naval Training Center. The housing development was constructed throughout the 2000s and added nearly 1,000 new housing units, coupled with rows of walkable green spaces leading to the preserved section of Liberty Station on the north side. Many of such housing units are still to this day set aside for military family housing, in a section called the Village at NTC. Keep in mind, San Diego is still a major hub of military bases and personnel, as adjacent to Liberty Station is MCRD San Diego, a Marine Corps military installation and training site. Now onto the fun part, cataloging the cases of adaptive reuse dotted throughout Liberty Station. As mentioned at the start of this video, Liberty Station has sort of become San Diego's arts district, with numerous art studios dotted all throughout the area housed in former naval barracks. The artist venues that make up the arts district include paint, pottery, photography, and dance studios, as well as comedy clubs, ballet and dance schools, art institutes, theaters, performing arts centers, art galleries, and even art museums. But these old barracks aren't only being used for artists. Many of them also have been converted to everything from architecture firms to medical foundation headquarters to antique stores and more. For instance, this Trader Joe's at Liberty Station is housed in a building that used to be one of the banks on the naval base. Attached to the Trader Joe's, you can also find a jewelry store, yoga studio, music school, and a few other cafes and restaurants housed in a building that was used as one of the few cafeterias on base. And these buildings that once housed the base's laundry and toilet facilities are now home to a Five Guys, Sephora, and Vons supermarket. Bet you San Diego locals won't forget about that one while you're digging into that little bacon cheeseburger with Cajun fries. This building on the northwest section of Liberty Station used to serve as an auditorium and storage space, but now houses a stunning luxury movie theater. This building on the very north end used to house the offices of the CPO, or Chief Petty Officer, but is now home to the 50s themed Corvette Diner, a San Diego staple. And one of the coolest cases of adaptive reuse is just across the street where Dirty Bird's Bar and Grill stands now, which used to house Liberty Station's telephone exchange. It's 2024, and I'm a part of Gen Z, so I had no idea what this was, but upon researching, telephone exchanges were used to connect telephones in a specific area to a central switchboard, which allows users to communicate with multiple phones, rather than just one phone at a time. Again, you might as well be speaking Latin to me. But there's no more important building that has exemplified just what adaptive reuse can do to a community like Liberty Station more than NTC San Diego's Building 1. While the naval base was operational, this building housed the base's main mess hall and commissary, but in the present day, it's one of San Diego's most popular attractions. This is Liberty Public Market. Not only is this public market a historic attraction, but it's been the powerhouse, being at the center of NTC San Diego's redevelopment. And in a roundabout way, I kind of love how this case of adaptive reuse has some relation to its former mess hall life, as Liberty Public Market offers to the community what the old mess hall and commissary did, serving as a third place and food hub for their respective residents. Except, of course, Liberty Public Market is open to the public and reaches far beyond its former mess hall status. I love food halls and public markets. I've been to a few dozen in my travels, and I think there's so much to appreciate about them. From their ability to bring a community together into a shared third place, to providing small businesses an opportunity to make the leap from food truck to brick and mortar, to its most basic purpose of giving people multiple cuisine options all under one roof, and I could go on and on. But not all food halls and public markets are created equally. However, I think it's safe to say that Liberty Public Market is exemplary across the board. The exterior grounds surrounding the public market are well kept and offer plenty of space to roam around, lounge, eat, or even play some beer hall games. The building is arcaded and connects to other barracks via these shaded walkways with a green space promenade in the center of it all, making it a cozy, serene place to be in. Coincidentally, I was here on the hottest day of the year in sunny San Diego, where it reached a rare toasty 95 degrees Fahrenheit, but walking along these shaded paths, you really didn't feel much of it at all. Inside the public market itself, 30 vendors line the halls with over 25,000 square feet of small businesses comprising both dining and shopping, distinguishing public market from mere food hall. I love the variety here too, and always make sure I stop at Piranha Empanadas every time I'm here. I'm not being sponsored in any way, shape, or form to say that either. I just love this place, and I have for years, and you should absolutely try them out if you visit here. That being said, you really can't go wrong with so many options here, honestly. And even more fun can be had in the former barracks buildings just north of the market too. Stone Brewing has called another section of Building 1 home, as well as yet another San Diego institution in Breakfast Republic, known for their innovative brunch offerings. And I can't not mention Moniker Coffee Company, just across Sims Road, where you can find people relaxing in its airy, open concept interior. This coffee shop is where the Brig used to be, which, if like me you didn't know what that was, it's pretty much just military jargon for a naval prison, used to keep military personnel awaiting trial, military personnel convicted of offenses against Uniform Code of Military Justice, and for sentenced prisoners who have not been awarded a punitive discharge. And right next to that is a flower shop where the post office used to be. Overall, I think what makes the redevelopment of Naval Training Center San Diego into Liberty Station so successful is just how diverse the offerings have become. At the same time, this place is an urban adjacent residential neighborhood, an arts district, recreation hub, company headquarters, commercial powerhouse, expansive green space with multiple parks and trails, and world-class food destination. I mean, it really takes the multi-use community seriously here. The city could have easily bulldozed this thing and made way for developers to plop down a massive shopping mall here, completely destroying all of the history and historic buildings. And while some have taken issue with the fact that they did tear down like half of the former naval base structures, I think what they were able to do with the land and the remaining structures is pretty remarkable. Again, they could have gotten rid of all buildings, flattened out the land, and filled in the marina to extend the adjacent San Diego International Airport, the biggest single runway airport in the US, by the way, which I will, of course, be diving into in an upcoming video, so subscribe if you don't want to miss miss out on that. But no, the city indeed had the foresight to see what NTC San Diego could become in the near future, and they followed through. Naval Training Center San Diego's transformation has been truly special to see as a SoCal resident. One of SoCal's few walkable neighborhoods featuring a network of trails and parks, sustainable housing developments, schools, churches, offices, theaters, and more. But at the same time, it's not sprawling. It doesn't serve a single person or a single group of people. It's free to visit, safe and easy to roam, and overall is a testament to what can be done when you combine adaptive reuse with urbanist urban planning principles. But I mean, looking at it from above, well, there's something pretty obvious to urbanists watching this video that they're about ready to scream if I don't mention it. And yes, like pretty much every American redevelopment in the last 30 years, it's far from perfect. And by that, I mean it's full of parking, and very much lacking in public transit accessibility. Time to dig into Liberty Station more critically. The most glaring and often confusing fault is that despite its name, there's no actual train station or station of any kind at Liberty Station. But I do think the area is primed and ready. This plot of land, a block northwest of Liberty Public Market, isn't being used for anything right now, and I think that it would make a great location for a Liberty Station light rail station, a short walk away from the market and the Arts District hub. The city could make a spur terminating at Old Town Transit Center, making its way down Rosecrans Street, stopping at a proposed Arts District station. Then it could continue further down Rosecrans towards the residential zone at Liberty Station, which could be called something like Rosecrans Station, and could be slotted into any one of these empty parking lots at Rosecrans and Nimitz Cross Street. But please, San Diego, don't just stop there. I'd continue this light rail line even further down Rosecrans into the Roseville Fleet Ridge neighborhood that has seen a recent development around where Rosecrans meets Harbor Drive. And why not keep this thing going with a stop at Point Loma Nazarene University, because San Diego has done a pretty good job of servicing its major universities with light rail in recent years, so why not continue the trend? And I'd go even further, wrapping this line to follow Sunset Cliffs Boulevard, stopping at Sunset Cliffs, Ocean Beach, SeaWorld, Belmont Park, Bird Rock, La Jolla, and terminating at the UCSD Central Campus Station. San Diego likes to name its lines after colors and metals, so let's just call this the Gold Line, after San Diego's golden sand or whatever, and boom! And I'm sure it'll surprise no one when I tell you that this area of San Diego did, in fact, once used to operate a streetcar line laid out very similarly to the one I'm proposing here. So yeah, as far-fetched as this paper napkin proposal might seem, it can be done. Side note, what do you guys think of this double-decker San Diego Electric Railway streetcar circa September 21st, 1892? I for one wish society could return to a time when this type of thing was possible. This is badass. All in all, businesses, residents, visitors, pretty much everyone would benefit from a light rail network running parallel to Liberty Station, provided that it's kept safe and clean. And with some new transit, why not add some new transit-oriented development? Upon further inspection, Liberty Station is missing some non-military family apartments, preferably in the 2, 3, 4, and 5/1 flavor. This empty, fenced-off patch of grass at the end of Farragut Road, where some naval barracks once stood, could work. The plot is situated central to the residential zone, a naval medical clinic, Liberty Station's hotel zone, and Liberty Station Park, with great access to surrounding trails, and not to mention some incredible views of the harbor and airport. A mixed-use development here would be a great addition, and no doubt a better use of the land than the current, well, nothing. An even bigger and better zone for redevelopment would be these parking lots on both sides of the commercial zone of Liberty Station, mostly serving the supermarkets, restaurants, and a few corporate offices. What if we could move this underground with a few 3/1 apartment buildings that could potentially add hundreds of units to a Liberty Station that is severely lacking them? And with hypothetical light rail stations less than 2 blocks away on both sides, it could be a welcome and necessary addition to the neighborhood. This isn't just wishful thinking, folks. Reimagining your neighborhoods in this sort of way is a great muscle to build, and one that I work on every day, even though it is kind of part of my job here. If you live in San Diego, particularly the Point Loma Liberty Station area, and would like to see more urbanization in these parts, attend a city council meeting or 3, and make your voice heard if you can. Make videos like this be seen by the people you vote into office. Look, my main reason for making a video on Liberty Station is to show just how beneficial things like adaptive reuse, multi-use communities, and urbanism-focused development can be to cities across the US. Sadly, America is full of deteriorating places just sitting there ripe for a new, meaningful life. And there aren't many examples better than Liberty Station out there that actually followed through in these meaningful ways that I've explored here in this video. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it is, without a doubt, exemplary in many ways. If you're ever in San Diego, be sure to check this place out and get a little lost. I, for one, had a great time doing just that for the purposes of this video, and look forward to exploring more places like it in future ones. If you don't want to miss out on any future escapades and analyses, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. But for now, I'll see you next week from 4th place.